start our crushed red peppers. Popping already. All right. There we go. Crushed red tomatoes, crushed red peppers. Oh boy. Okay. We are going to start our mango habanero peppers next. Oh boy. Okay, the mangoes are done. Let's get them on our trays. Dehydrate this at 135. All right, back to work. All right, I got to fix this hole right here. It rotted through. I have a dead man that connects here and runs under the patio right here. It goes about 8 feet. And in this area, I got a lot of water. So of course a lot of damage there. So my plan is to install this board and secure it to the fence. And I'll be using some of my recycled screws. Then I'm going to put in a 1/4 inch wire mesh, secure that to the fence and the wood piece, secure that to the piece of wood in the fence. And then I'm going to form it. And then I'm going to form it a little bit. And this will be my base and for drainage and everything. Alright, I'm not going to show you every screw I put in and everything I tighten up. So let me get the rest of this stuff put together, and then we'll put the bed in place. All right, here's what I collected for the bed. Just some old rotten wood, some stuff that was in the bed. Most of the stuff was completely rotted out, which is nice after 9 seasons. And a pair of jeans, an old shirt, and a towel. Now these beds were built in 2016. These two here. And them two were built in 2017. If you notice, there's no wood left in here. See if I can post a couple pictures of the wood that was in there. All right, let's get a cover crop in there. More biochar. Alright, let's wet everything down real well. Cover crops are coming in, and I did plant a couple tomato plants. So I got 3 knocked out, and now I got to tear this one out, but I'm a little concerned about this post here. I think what I'm going to have to do is secure that. So I'm probably going to put in a put an eye bolt in here, and then run a cable with a tensioner, and then I have like a 24-inch tent stake that I'll put in the ground. Alright, let's rip out this last bit of bed. And it's really rotted through. This bed was definitely in need of replacement. As you can see how rotted this is. It's like really thin, completely rotted through. Let's work these other pieces out. These are rotted really as well. I must have had a lot of water. I must have had a lot of water being held in place here. Look how rotted this is. It's completely rotted through. I'm glad I'm replacing these. The other beds were in pretty good shape. The other 2 beds, the 2017 beds, 2016 beds here. They're just done. They're just gone. So we're going to pry this out of place. Let's get this going. Remove that piece of wood. I built these beds pretty well. As you can see, that post really needs to be secured. We'll have to work on that later. The reason they're so hard to pull apart is because I have metal brackets underneath, metal braces or whatever you call it underneath. Let's get this out of the way. And let's see what we can do with this post. This is going to be fun. I still have some more wood to remove. Let's get this planer out of the way. Let's see what we can do with this post. Alright, I think I got a game plan. I wanted to secure it to the fence. I'll check this end. I want to remove some of the grapevines, get some tension off of that line. These grapevines put a lot of stress on that line. Okay, I'm going to support this post up. I'll be using one of them T-posts, fencing T-posts, whatever you call them, to secure that. let's get that in place. Okay, get our level on there. Okay, let's see. Go to the other side. Go get one. I'll put the other side. Yeah, let's go around the other side. Oh boy. I have to get some more lags. Not bad. Poopy. All right, let's put this little saw to the test. All right. Not bad, guys. What do you think of that? Very impressed with that saw. Okay, here's the cover crops I got going in the beds. And I had a tomato plant that I started later in the season. See if I get a couple late tomatoes. This was the top of a tomato plant that broke off. I just stuck that in the soil and it seems to be growing. Another tomato plant. Some flowers. I just started these a few weeks ago. And then in this bed I have a bunch of bok choy and old lettuce seeds. We'll see how they come up. See if they come up. Okay, these are the lights. They work pretty good. But if you get a cloudy day, they only last a few hours. These are my low voltage lights. They're much brighter.